If you think of two characters who are emblematic more in Super Smash Bros. Than in their home franchise, you probably think of Captain Falcon and Marth. Marth has been a staple in top-level gameplay throughout Smash's history ever since his introduction in Super Smash Bros. Melee. Except in Smash Ultimate, he's kind of been missing, so I wanted to go over what happened to Marth. In order to understand the full context, I'm going to be doing a small breakdown of why Marth is good in the other 3 Smash games he has a part of, and then show why he is lacking so much in Smash Ultimate. In Melee, he's so sick. He's been a top tier basically forever, off the backs of Sephiroth Ken, and Mewtwo King, and Zayn, and so many other amazing top players, and largely it is because of his combo game. He has an amazing neutral as well, he has one of the lowest dashes in the game, he has one of the best chain grabs in the entire game on Space Animals, so it really makes his punish game incredibly threatening. He has great poking tools with down tilt and up tilt. He has strong aerials, but again in Melee it's all about that combo game and edge guarding especially. Most notably, his tippers are very important, but also his sour spots are still good. Sour spot aerials and moves are oftentimes wanted in Melee. It's not just his tippers, so a good balance of spacing both will DI mix up your opponents and lead to early stocks. In Brawl, he was a spacing machine in a game where people were not really dashing and doing big burst options, and where burst options were honestly kind of mid. Marth flourished because he had forward tilt, he had forward air, he had short off double forward air, which is incredible. He had some chain grabs on fast falling characters that didn't do too much percent, but either way, he was just solid. He had solid edge guarding, he had solid movement, he had grab release combos on some very important characters like Wario and Meta Knight. He had an invincible up B, so if you got hit and something wasn't necessarily a true combo, Marth could escape it and just do solid damage overall. He wasn't crazy in terms of top tiers, he didn't have anything super broken, but everything about him was good, so he lacked a lot of weaknesses that opponents could exploit and was just incredibly strong at every single point of the game. Contrary to popular belief, in Smash 4, Marth wasn't good at the beginning. He had to get multiple buffs throughout the game in order to become the menace that he was at the end, but obviously at the end he was incredible. MKLeo definitely showed off the strength of Marth overall. Largely, he played kind of like Brawl. He was a little bit slow, a little bit just pokey with his moves, but the big thing he got was his jab one tipper was now a combo move, so Marth had a really solid, safe move that was a combo starter that led to death. He had jab into forward smash, he had jab into F tilt, he had so many good options, and again, sour spots were okay, but the pace of the game was a little bit slower, so you were able to get those sour spots and it wasn't that big of a deal. Again, he also had that frame 1 invincibility on his up B, so really cheesy combos like Mario down throw into up tilt didn't work, so he nullified a lot of strong combo game early, had his own combo game, and then again, was just solid. It was so hard to hit him because burst options in that game, other than characters like maybe Meta Knight, were a little bit lackluster. Swords as a whole in Smash Bros are good because disjoints are good. When your hitbox is larger than your hurt box, you are able to wall your opponents out, which kind of automatically makes you do good versus a lot of the close quarter combat characters that have ended up flourishing throughout Smash's history. He also had strong juggling because his up air was really strong and again disjointed, so it was really difficult for characters to come in. In Smash 4, he started to get power crept a little bit in terms of his range because characters like Cloud existed, where Cloud just kind of did what Marth did overall, but better, but again was a little bit more exploitable off stage, so it was a give and take, which is why Leo just played both depending on what the matchup needed. Again, his tippers were strong, but also they were relatively consistent. There were consistent ways to get them in every single game. The spacing was very obvious, and again, the games that were slower, it didn't matter that much if he got his sour spots because he was still hitting his opponents away, and the games that were faster, he was able to get his own combos and put things in the correct spot, which made it a lot more difficult for opponents to get in without dying. But now comes Smash Ultimate. First off, the range is entirely power crept. Marth is honestly in the lower end of Swordy range because characters like Byleth and even the Belmonts and Min Min exist. So he's no longer the range demon that he once was, so that specialty that kind of was the case in Melee and Brawl and part of Smash 4 no longer was the case. And even when Lucina was introduced in Smash 4, Marth's tippers were overall better because the jab 1 combo strings were good, so even if Lucina was a good good character, Marth was always a little bit better. But in Smash Ultimate, losing the ranged demon status meant that he needed to be a little bit more aggressive and played more either close quarter combat or in the mid-range, but characters like Roy also did that better. Roy, having his sweet spots close to his body, meant that if you were in a close quarter combat situation, Roy was a lot more threatening with sweet spot down tilt, sweet spot jab, the aerials were all really strong, and of course Roy's kill potential is ridiculous. And that's not to say that Marth can't kill in Smash Ultimate. His Dancing Blade Tipper will kill people at the ledge at like 40%, and he still has really strong moves, most notably his forward smash. Those will still pack a punch, but in the speed of Smash Ultimate, it's kind of hard to land it. Not only is there basically a single confirm into it, which is sweet spot down air, which is pretty obvious and also unsafe to do, but again, forward smash doesn't even have that much range, right? You get outranged by a Sonic forward smash in this game. So Marth has been stuck in the middle ground of needing to be a little bit aggressive, but still a little bit passive because he will lose against the close quarter combat characters like Mii Brawler, Fox, and Rob. He does still have his invincible up B, but in a game like Smash Ultimate where combos are incredibly strong, if he whiffs one of those, he's going to take a lot of damage, whereas in Smash 4, barring certain matchups, and in Brawl, he's probably not going to take too much damage from whiffing an up B. In Smash Ultimate, he can get grabbed by Luigi or up-aired by Ice Climbers 4 times, or just kept in advantage for longer because overall advantage states are stronger in Smash Ultimate due to both the strength of characters and the lack of super strong defensive options. So he doesn't exactly know how to play neutral, and his disadvantage is a little bit lackluster because of his floaty nature, and his up B is a little bit worse just due to the punish game of Smash Ultimate. Well, what does he get in return? Not that much, actually. He has some edge guarding, but again, in Smash Ultimate, overall, recoveries are incredibly strong, not only due to the change of ledge mechanics that happened in Smash 4, but also just recoveries are really good. You have Bayonetta, you have Pac-Man, you have Steve, you have a bunch of teleport un-two-frameable recoveries, you have even some characters that can't be two-framed like Fox, without having to go off stage and be committal. But again, if Marth is wrong, he's a little bit too floaty and a little bit too slow, so he will just end up getting hit if he's wrong by these edge guarded, so a lot of the times he's just going to stay on stage. He has not that many great two-frame options, so his pressure there is mid. His edge trapping itself, because he's a little bit committal on his aerials, they're not super fast, they're not super spammable, he kind of just does a one-time guess and he hopes he's right. And a big problem is that his juggle game, which has been amazing in every Smash game he has ever been in, is kind of mid in Ultimate. It's not fast enough to punish a lot of characters. His air dodge punishes, other than sweet spot down air, are kind of mid, and you don't often get sweet spot down airs even when you read your opponent correctly, just due to the finicky nature of Marth's sweet spot in this game. Yeah, I don't know why they made it so hard to sweet spot with like so many of Marth's tools. It is honestly incredibly frustrating to play as Marth in this game because it feels like, outside of some very obvious circumstances, that like tippers just don't feel good. Another issue with Marth in Smash Ultimate is that he doesn't have any precise spacing tools like he does in every other game. In Melee, you have the ability to wave dash either down or at slight angles. In Brawl, the game is a little slower, so you can kind of just walk around in space. In Smash 4, there was perfect pivoting, and in Smash Ultimate, there's kind of nothing. No way to get very precise movements other than just like your bigger movements like Slingshot and stuff like that, but that isn't enough when your tippers are so sensitive in this game. So his lack of juggle game means that his damage output, which was in Melee based off of combos, but in Brawl and Smash 4 was based off of just neutral, and we've already covered the neutral isn't good, he just doesn't get enough. So he doesn't get as much damage off of juggling. His combos are not very long at all. He gets like 2 or 3 pieces at most. His grab damage is pretty neutered. His grab combos only really work from like 0 to 20, so he's kind of just stuck as a neutral demon in a game where there are like actual demons in neutral, and Marth just kind of is somewhere in the middle ground. Marth really has a case of a lost identity in Smash Ultimate, and I'm not necessarily saying that's because of the developers developing Marth poorly, it's just the way the game has kind of happened has not been good for him. You have a game where Kazuya is 0-to-nothing people, where Min Min is attacking you and then edgeguarding you from halfway across the stage, and Marth is meant to do those things against the characters that just do it better than him, or he's in matchups where he can get a couple of hits due to walling his opponent out, and then they're going to hit him once and kill him, like Mii Brawler or Luigi or even characters like Yoshi. Literally, Yoshi is a better Marth than Marth is in Smash Ultimate because Yoshi does damage, has a double jump armor, can edgeguard, has a better recovery. Like basically everything Marth wants to do, Yoshi just kind of does better, even though Yoshi doesn't even have a sword, but he kind of does have a sword with his tail. It is definitely a little bit sad to see Marth's fall from grace. Granted, as not a Marth player that has had to deal with Marth players in all these games, I'm kind of okay with him being a little bit mid. Granted, I've been very good versus Marth throughout my competitive history. I was very good against Marth. In Brawl, I actually took some sets off of PPMD's Marth back when it was super strong, and in Brawl, I had an incredible record versus Marth. I literally lost one set to a Marth ever in all of Brawl history. And then in Smash 4, I think I played Leo once and I lost to him, but there were no other Marths, so I don't know. In Smash Ultimate, it just feels like Marth has lost his way. He doesn't know how to play neutral effectively. He cannot really do damage effectively compared to a lot of the characters in the cast. He's not cheesy enough with his damage output and kills to make it feel like, oh, he's a random comeback character. It totally makes sense that Mia and Nicola put him as the worst character in this game because at least the other bad characters have a point. Ganon hits incredibly hard, and if he's right, he'll kill you. Little Mac is incredibly good on the ground game, and if he hits you, he can kill you. Dr. Mario can kill you. Low-tier characters like K. Rool can just do a bunch of damage, whereas Marth kinda doesn't do anything in this game. And again, is it a little sad? Sure. But also, some characters can have the limelight. I know I mean Pikachu who's been good in every Smash game, don't talk about it. And yeah, that's going to be it for this one. I hope you all enjoyed. Let me know down in the comments if you like this type of video. I would appreciate it. As always, social media and partner stuff is down below, and I will see you all next time.